And so they had to be in really good shape. So they'd get up in the morning and squeeze some real orange juice in a glass, chug it down for health purposes, go out and play like 2.5 hours of tennis, jump in their pools, do 30, 40, 50 laps in their pool, lie around, have a little lunch, work on their tan. They had to have their shirts off and those swashbucklers, which they had to learn to sword fight. That's actually Errol Flynn when you see him sword fighting. Burt Lancaster, when you see him jump on a rope and swing to a pirate ship.
Yeah.
He found him in the circus. He was originally a trapeze guy.
Okay.
But they became actors over the period of time. Anyway, as we go through the movie colony, you can't help noticing tennis courts. Tennis court here, tennis court here.
Oh.
And this is a huge estate with a big stage in the back for big parties. Beautiful grounds with fountains and statues. The pool starts about here. The house starts about here. And this is the very tip of one of the most famous architectural homes in the United States. This is the Kaufman House.
The what?
The Kaufman House.
The Kaufman.
It is was done by a guy named Kaufman. He owned all kinds of department stores in the Midwest. He lived in Pennsylvania. Back in 1936, he had Frank Lloyd Wright Jr. build him a house called Falling Waters, one of the most famous homes in America. And this was Kaufman's getaway Palm Springs house on 2.5 acres, huge, beautiful, and it was built in 1946, one of the first modernism homes ever built. Anyway, this is part of the tour of the Modernism Week coming up. You can Google this under Kaufman House or under Barry Manilow's home. That's Barry Manilow has owned that for 30 years. This is an estate that goes back 5 acres. There's a house right in back of this gazebo, a pool, and 7 other houses.
7 other houses.
Yes, on the 5 acres. You'll see another gazebo back here and a statue. And this is the Gabor estate. Zsa Zsa Gabor was the last survivor, just passed away about a year ago.
Right.
And you know, between the 3 Gabor sisters, they had 16 husbands.
Oh.
They're beautiful gals. And Zsa Zsa had 8 on her own.
Okay. She had 50% herself.
That's right. Yeah. She was on Johnny Carson late night one night. And Johnny, you know what she did for a living. They didn't do all that. They're just famous for being famous, kind of like the Kardashians.
Yes.
Anyway, Johnny says, Zsa Zsa, what do you do when you're not acting? She says, I'm a housekeeper. He says, you're a housekeeper? She says, yeah, every time I get a divorce, I keep the house.
Oh, no wonder, right?
So I guess she ended up with 8 houses. Now, like any other street in Palm Springs, 2 out of 3 of these homes are second homes. But these second homes are multi-million-dollar second homes. If it's a large piece of property like this place, it'll go for $1 million to $2 million for the land before you put a dime into it.
Whoa.
Notice this one, you can see that through it. There's your tennis court, and notice the way the shape of the roof goes like this several times. Those are separate casitas that your friends could have their own entrance, stay there for a night or a week.
Wow.
This is a casita that wraps around, and then the main house starts here and goes all the way back, way down there.
These are big properties.
Yes.
I wonder if-
Yeah, it looks like it. They own a restaurant, nightclub in Malibu. Come out here to get away from business. But that's not the way they lived when they first came out here in 1930s. This is the way they lived. This is a compound. It goes to the end of the street down there.
A whole street for one home?
Yes, the end of the street all the way down there and all the way around.
Wow.
The main house is in the middle, and there's like 3, 4, 5 bungalows that are places for your friends and relatives to crash after big parties. Your obligatory swimming pool, tennis court, stage area. This was Howard Hughes' estate. He lived here between 1936 and 1948, retired to Vegas, and this is now a think tank owns this and come out and uses this as a retreat.